My name is Mia Gross. I went to Geelong Grammar and I was in the Fraser House and I graduated in 2019. So I am a track and field runner and I specialise in the 100s and the 200s. I'm hopefully planning on moving into the 400s later this season, but I've been a part of the 4x1 teams for the Com Games in 2018 and I was a part of the Olympic 4x1 team as well for this year, but I got really sick. I've represented Australia at the Commonwealth Youth Games in the Bahamas, World Juniors in Finland in 2018. I am a 5-time Victorian and Australian champion in the 1, 2, 4, and I currently hold 22 Victorian records over 14 from years 14 to open and a 2-time Australian record holder in some relays. I remember we were training, it was like the winter season and we just started and it was the ATH season. So like this training was quite hard. And one of the boys was just so like, we was like training and he just hit lactic so bad and he just thought it was just so horrible, like the feeling in his legs, like he'd never felt it before and he genuinely thought that there was something wrong with him. So he took himself to Kennedy where he had to like full get his self checked out and the coach was like, oh, it's totally fine, like it's only lactic. But it was just so funny because it was just like being in an environment where, you know, everyone has to try something different. And because athletics, everyone thinks it's so easy, but it's when they, as soon as they start training for it, they're like, nah, this is so hard. And it was just so funny watching him go from like, oh, this is going to be easy to being on the floor, like trying to get himself into Kennedy. Like it was just so funny. Well, when I was at school, I was lucky enough to run in the APS system in year 10, which was like so much fun. But then in year 11 and 12, I got stitched up and I got stress fractures in my foot both years. So both APS times for athletics. So I was bit unfortunate in that aspect, but I went into the throws. So I was doing like shot put and discus and stuff like that. So I guess I would say everyone became my competitor because I wasn't too strong and I was stuck in a boot and I was trying to throw a shot put in a discus, but I ended up coming third at the APS. So I think everyone was a bit shocked. All the coaches were like, what? And like all my teammates were like, what the hell? But like my mom's always said that like anybody's beatable. So I just kind of went in with that mentality. But I was like, oh, look at all these people, like they've been training for shot put and discus and I don't really know that much. So I was just like, oh, I can do it. And then yeah, ended up getting third, which I was pretty happy about. But yeah, everyone was kind of my competitor. You never know, on like a competition day, anybody can throw out some magnificent throw, jump, you know, sprint. So, you know, it's all about on the day, I guess. So Dimmy, who was one of the sprinting coaches at GGS, was definitely an influential factor to me as an athlete, definitely through APS, I guess, with the whole, you know, being injured heaps. He was really there to be one to believe in me and push push me throughout my training sessions, all that kind of stuff, timing me when I'm at the well, on the oval at school, and even like the bus rides when we would go to like the APS, he would always like show me videos of what I've done in the past, and he was always like, see Maya, like this is what you can do, like I know you're capable, like keep going, you can do it, all that kind of stuff, like helping me to focus on like starts because sometimes I get a little bit nervous in the blocks, so always helping me like start, stay focused, breathing, all that kind of stuff. So it was definitely, you know, influenced me so much in, you know, staying calm and believing in myself, which is really cool because sometimes, I mean, as athletes, we all have a little bit of self-doubt, and it's always nice to know that you've got like the support system backing you to go through like the whole way, which is pretty cool. Well, it's funny because school sport actually taught me to be organized and to plan things, which is like interesting because it's like sport, but then I'm talking about planning. But when you're doing like sport at school, and you're doing like in the winter, I was training for the track, and then I was also playing soccer. But then I was doing these compulsory activities that the school would make me do, and then I was trying to have a social life, and then I was trying to study. So like all of these things, I was learning to plan things, write things down, and like plan my whole days so that I would prioritize things and I wouldn't, mess around, which I think was really cool because it's like definitely carried on outside of school where I've had to, work and train and all that kind of stuff, where I've had to take from the school stuff, I've had to move it into my normal day life now, which is pretty cool. And now when I've like got heaps of stuff on my plate, I know how to deal with it because at school I had so much to do and I was doing it all. So, it was great. So my coach was a big contributing factor to me actually moving to GGS. He was actually the one that suggested to move, and my parents and I like sat down and started talking about the move. And honestly, it was like the best decision of my entire life, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to move to Geelong Grammar, and that the idea was even brought to me. So I'm like, thank you, Joe, for giving, for even popping the idea of moving schools into my head, because it was the best experience I've ever had ever. And I wouldn't want to do anything else because that was awesome. um, not I don't really have a favorite teammate. I like to talk to everybody. I'm not really a one person, like this one person is my favorite. I like to talk to everybody because everyone has so much, to offer. Like everyone's pretty special in their own unique way. And I think that's pretty cool when you get to know everybody and find, little bits about people that like I can relate with you in this, and I can relate you with that. And I think it's really cool with, especially a place like Geelong Grammar where there's just so much variety, where you learn about other people and where they've come from, what they want to do with their lives, and I think it's really cool. So I guess I don't really have one favorite member, but I definitely have, lots of people that I like to talk to. I would say to enjoy the experiences and the pathways that get thrown at you and to try new things. Um, but I also reckon to not like never ask for an extension, because I think that as soon as you ask for an extension at school, you kind of like put it off still and put it off still and put it off still. But if you like get it done and you write down things of what you have to do to balance your social life, training life, and studying, if you get it all done within that one day, you don't have to keep putting things off and off and off. So I reckon get it all done ASAP and definitely don't waste any time.